Welcome back. Today we are looking at the magician from Riga, Mikhail Tal, but not the version you're used to. We're in Moscow, 1981. Tal isn't throwing pieces into the fire today. He's playing like a python. He's squeezing, he's calculating, and he's showing the world that he can outplay anyone in the endgame. Hit that like button, and let's see the clinical side of a legend. Pawn to c4, knight to f6, knight to c3, pawn to e5. Tal opens with the English. Kochyev responds with the four knights. Very solid, very standard. Knight to f3, knight to c6, pawn to g3, knight to d4. Kochyev wants to trade. He's trying to simplify the game against Tal. Smart move, or so he thinks. Bishop to g2, knight takes f3 check. Bishop takes f3, bishop to b4. The pieces are coming off, but Tal's dark-squared bishop is already looking like a monster. Queen to c2, castles kingside. Castles kingside, rook to e8. Both players are castled. Development is almost complete. It looks quiet, but Tal is about to start the squeeze. Pawn to d3, pawn to c6. Bishop to g5, bishop to e7. Tal pins the knight. Kochyev breaks it. The tension in the center is building. Rook to d1, pawn to d6, pawn to b4, pawn to a6. Tal starts expanding on the queen side. He's claiming space step by step. Pawn to d4, pawn takes d4. Rook takes d4, knight to d7. Tal centralizes the rook. He has the space, the activity, and now he's eyeing the weaknesses. Bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, knight to e4, pawn to c5. Kochyev tries to kick the rook, but it creates holes. Tal smells blood. Rook to d1, pawn takes b4, knight takes d6, rook to d8. Look at that knight on d6. It's a bone in the throat of the black position. Kochyev is paralyzed. Knight takes c8, rook takes c8, bishop takes b7, rook to b8. Tal is just hoovering up the queen side. He's up a pawn and his coordination is perfect. Bishop takes a6, knight to c5, bishop to b5, queen to f6. Tal has a passed pawn. That is the hero of this story. Kochyev tries to counterattack with the queen. Rook to b1, pawn to h5, rook takes d8 check, rook takes d8. Tal simplifies. When you're up material against a master, you trade pieces, not pawns. Rook to b4, pawn to h4, rook to b1, pawn to h3. Kochyev tries to create chaos on the king side. He wants a checkmate. Tal just laughs and pushes his own pawn. Pawn to a4, pawn to g6, pawn to a5, rook to d4. The a-pawn is a freight train. It's coming, and there's nothing black can do to stop it. Rook to f1, queen to d6, pawn to a6, rook to d2. Rook on the 7th rank? Usually scary. Against Tal, it's too little, too late. Queen to c3, rook to a2, queen to f3, knight takes a6. Kochyev finally wins the pawn back, but at what cost? His coordination is gone. Queen to a8 check, king to g7. Bishop takes a6, rook takes a6. The final trades. We are heading into a queen and rook endgame where Tal has all the winning chances. Queen to d5, queen to f6, queen to d7, rook to e6. The squeeze is back. Tal is centralizing everything. Kochyev is just shuffling, waiting for the end. Queen to d3, queen to e5, pawn to e3, rook to d6, queen to c2, rook to c6. Tal is maneuvering. He's improving his position every single move. Rook to c1, queen to e6, pawn to c5. And there it is, the final hammer blow. The c-pawn starts its journey, and Kochyev has seen enough. He resigns. Mikhail Tal showing us that he didn't need to sacrifice his queen to win. Sometimes you just need a better plan and a passed pawn. If you enjoyed this clinical masterclass, don't forget to like and subscribe to Live Chess Games. Support the channel via the BTC link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Get out of here.